No Kenneth tonight. Yes, correct.
Does
And no Eric tonight.
and Nene?
In emergency. I don't know what constitutes the emergency. Anyway.
Who do you expect to get the minutes for Fareed?
Probably BJ over to 5.
What has Kenneth brought to your guys' team since you guys were able to pick him up earlier this season?
Athleticism. What he does really fits the way we play, and it's been great. He saved us when Clint was out. A lot of energy and just a good player.
You were the head coach of the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns, and now you're on the Rockets, which is another powerful offense.
Yeah, we played 24 seconds less here. Yeah.
How has your offense changed in a matter of 15 seasons?
Well, it just changes for the type of players you have. You try to adapt it to who you have, and we're just blessed with 2 of the best point guards ever and unbelievable scorers, and just trying to figure out what they do best and let them do it.
A year ago today is when you said James is the best offensive player you'd ever seen. And as I recall,
Nothing's happened in that year to change my mind.
that was kind of where I was going.
Nothing.
You took some grief over that.
No, I feel really bad about it. I really. Yeah, no, still the same. I mean, maybe got even better.
Was heading there. In what ways do you feel like he might be better?
Well, his step back's better. I don't know. He just went on a 2-month tear. I mean, you know how many points he's scoring, right? I mean, it's incredible what he's doing, and getting 30 points on every team in the NBA. And we probably should look at it real close. He might have got it on most teams twice. There's only a couple teams that probably didn't get it on twice. So he's incredible.
So do you want to tell everybody that mocked you what you think
I
of that?
don't. Not really. If I'm spending my time doing that, I'll be here all day.
Eric's out, so who is?
We're going to start Shumpert. 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 No, Shumpert. Iman. We'll start.
How much of that is for tonight, and how much is for experiment purposes?
Nah, we're good with our lineup the way with Eric starting. So.
Well, I didn't mean you would change that, but I meant just to see him with different people than if you had him coming up.
The biggest reason I would normally start Daniel Wiles, but he's got PJ's going to play some 5, so the only sub I have for PJ is Daniel was going to have to get his minutes at the 4 tonight, mostly. So that's the reason. Otherwise, it would just be Daniel.
The upshot of that injury update, Kenneth Fareed and Eric Gordon will both sit out tonight, and Nene is only available on an emergency basis, though even Mike admits he doesn't know what an emergency would be. Tonight, right. I don't know. Yeah. Right. Break the glass, call on Nene if you have to. What strikes you about this run that the Rockets are on right now, 12-1 in their last 13?
Believe it or not, defensively, the way they've been able to believe in one another, Sekou, because their offense is what it is. Chris Paul, James Harden take turn. But Fareed's energy, having Capella back on the floor, being healthy, really is the key difference why their transition game has gotten better and they get more easier threes, because you're either getting the layup with that guy right there, or now he's showing us still, Sekou, that I'm a scorer, but I'm still finding a way to find guys like Gerald Green to catch and shoot. PJ Tucker in the corner. So defensively, I can't believe I'm saying is that having Capella back's really changed them.
You know what? The numbers bear that out. Number 6 defense since the All-Star break.
Yeah, and when I look at a team like this, and one of the things I love to do is to go and kind of watch the body language, go to shoot around, go to a pregame and see how guys are working out. So I went to that shoot around here in Atlanta the other day, and it was interesting what kind of groove they're in, just from a body language standpoint. How the guys are kind of giving each other the business, they shoot around, laughing, joking, but then getting work in. I talked to PJ Tucker, listened to Mike D'Antoni talk to him a little bit, talked to Chris Paul, talked to James Harden, and just kind of asked them where they were, coming off the season they've had to where they are now. They're in such a confident space right now after that choppy start to this season. They feel like they are on the same level as the Warriors. Whether we believe it or anybody else, the Warriors, doesn't matter. It's what they believe in as a group. And the fact that they've had some of these players they've had to insert into their mix because of injuries has only served to build that confidence. Fareed's out tonight, but a guy like that you can bring in and basically you resuscitate his image as the manimal and the activity level. Austin Rivers comes in and is fantastic, for you in terms of just fitting right in. They have a collective confidence, guys, to me, that says wherever they finish in the pecking order in the Western Conference playoff chase, that's the team you have to be worried about if you're the Golden State Warriors.
Listening to Mike D'Antoni, he is just fascinating, right? He
really
has
is.
been at the helm of two transcendent NBA offenses built around extraordinary talent, Steve Nash and now James Harden. Very different offenses, by the way. Don't confuse that. Extremely, almost opposites in some ways. But his detractors would say, yeah, he just kind of rolls the ball out and lets him go. It's too unstructured, and there's no emphasis on defense whatsoever. That's changed maybe a little bit in Houston. But you mentioned something about how relaxed they are. What is the benefit for players, do you think, playing for Mike D'Antoni in the environment where he, for the most part, lets them do their thing?
I'm glad you asked me that. I talked to Kenneth Faried about that very thing. It's that, and this is straight from Kenneth Faried's mouth. He said the fact that he showed up in Houston, he made his first three. And he said, Mike D'Antoni, he walked over after, came back to the bench after that, and he said, Mike D'Antoni said, oh, you can make threes. He said that the fact that D'Antoni didn't prejudge, didn't presume that he was only going to go out there and do this, or this. He allows players, 3D, to find whatever groove they can. Yeah. And I'll bring up another player who mentioned something to me years ago about Mike D'Antoni. You know who I'm talking about. He said it's his favorite coach he ever played for because he gave players the freedom to play to their strengths without putting any limitations on what they could do. And when you have a player who's a 6'8", 240-pound point guard at that time, and you tell him, here's the ball, go do you. He loves it. So, all of his detractors, I guarantee you, they don't wear jerseys. It's just people who try and poke at his system or call it crazy ball. I've yet to run into a player who didn't enjoy playing for the coach that is Mike D'Antoni.
And I think now, when you look at this roster from Eric Gordon, now you're bringing a guy like Iman Shumpert, who's a champion. He said to himself, I can police myself, make sure I stay in shape, be where I'm supposed to be. I'm playing for a coach that allows me to go out there and play the game the way I want to play it. And then now I have teammates that are playing the same way. And to your point, Sekou, they're coming to shoot around, they're coming to practice, they're bringing their professionalism every night. And then when the game starts, I can go out there and have fun.
The Rockets in Memphis tonight to take on the Grizzlies. We'll keep an eye on that. Everything else happening around.